Hello Exiles, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming and welcome to another Path of Exile video. In today's video I'm going to go over my Gauntlet Trickster, which is a Frostblades Trickster, sometimes a Frostblades of Catabasis, if that's how it's pronounced, Trickster. I use this for bossing and then switch to regular Frostblades for clearing. Currently level 83 in the Gauntlet. This is my 5th character. I tried to make the Molten Strike Warden go. Unfortunately, a lot of the campaign stuff is not very good for true melee, right up in the face type stuff. So what I did on this character is I just did the first lab until I got Frostblades of Catabasis, which was once actually. I got it my first try. I bought some Frostblades to try to turn into this, and I got it right away. So used that a lot in the campaign where everything was dangerous and I wanted some more range. The reasoning being is that Frostblades of Catabasis has a very long melee strike range. In fact, with quality, if you get it all the way up to 20%, you can pretty much off-screen things with it, which is really nice. So I'm currently level 83. I think I just broke into the top 2,000, so I'm kind of been slowly and steadily climbing. Yesterday morning I was in like 6,000th place, so moving up at an okay pace. Kind of doing it slow and steady. My only real goal is to hit level 95 at first, and then I'll try for bosses should I hit 95 and stay alive. But at the moment, I'm kind of focusing in on trying to hit level 95, and that's my goal. My current Atlas completion is only 24. I'm just kind of going around and getting all of my white maps done. I'm going to do it very, very slow and steady. And just kind of make my way through there. I am doing a lot in King's March. I'm pretty consistently just constantly setting out boats. In fact, most of my gear has been gotten from boats. This is the skill tree. I think I made a little bit of a mistake with my 3rd Ascendancy. I did take Escape Artist when I wasn't really ready to transition into Energy Shield yet. I am going to play this a little bit differently. Instead of going for Heartstopper and Swift Killer, I'm going to go up to Spellbreaker. I think that's going to be very helpful for a lot of the Pinnacle bosses once I get there. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be getting a Necrotic Armor, which should be able to start coming in at shipments once I hit level 84. Try to get up to level 86 so I can get tier 1 rolls, and then I'm gonna dense fossil one of those once I get an item level 86. Just spam dense fossils, do some delve until I get a really good one, and that should give me a boatload of evasion and energy shield, and then I can start to progress into higher tier maps. The rest of my skill tree looks like this. I got Corrupted Blood immunity very early. In fact, I think I got it about halfway through Act 4. I went up here and got Tolerance. Nice thing about this as well is you get a bunch of Chaos Resist on your way through, so if you get this before the second half of the campaign, it helps with the Chaos Resist, and then you can just send 5 Petrified Amber bars to in a shipment to, what's the place? I'm gonna go find out. Ribbonfell. I remembered on my own. Yeah, if you just send a small amount, the minimum, so 100 shipment or less to Ribbonfell of Petrified Amber, you'll get 3 rings and 2 runes. The runes are nice because if you die, you can go ahead and just craft, on your early things, sun runes, because you'll get a lot of those. You send out like 20, shipments or whatever. You'll probably get 20 to 25 sun runes plus some other higher runes here and there, and that will make leveling earlier. This is my 5th character. My first death was actually about 2 minutes into the event. I made a mule to give myself Molten Strike, and unfortunately the mule ended up running into a Maven witnessed hillock on the beach. and I was not expecting that. I don't think anyone was expecting that, and in my panic I stood in a damage over time bubble until my health got low for a little bit too long, and then I tried to run away while I health potioned, and yeah, Hillock has Leap Slam now once he pulls his sword out, like Uber Hillock, or like the map Hillock, so Dunes. So yeah, I died on that character. Then I made another mule and survived this time, and then I made it all the way up until the end of Act 4 on my first actual, character to get through on the Molten Strike. And my damage was great. I was Molten Strike Warden. I was really starting to pop off. Unfortunately, Malachi does indeed have Maven, the spinning laser from Maven, which is one of my weakest fights to begin with. And it's particularly hard if you have to, not only dodge a bunch of big slams and tentacles and whatnot, but all the damage over time stuff on the ground, but you also have to dodge those, and they're not centered in the arena either. So they kind of oscillate, and sometimes if you're if I don't even think I had Frostblink. Yeah, I did have Frostblink. But if your Frostblink is on cooldown and you're pushed to the edge, I should have just portaled and went back. But yeah, I kind of panicked. I wasn't expecting that either, and Malachi did unfortunately kill me while I was on the last heart, so I was pretty close to getting him down. And I think I would have maybe been okay, but there are other spots where I could have died. So got through that, and then I tried again on Molten Strike Warden and died earlier, much earlier in the campaign. I actually died in Act 1, I think before even Brutus. I figured, I have some gear now or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and just rush through. And I just died in my haste, basically. So this is my next character. I'm like, okay, well, this isn't working out so well. I'm just going to go back to a comfort pick of mine. I'm going to go back to the Frostblade's Trickster. And it worked beautifully. I had a bunch of like Act 1, 2, 3 gear set up from my previous characters. If you look in my stash tabs, you can see I absolutely hoarded everything in case I needed to level. So I have just tons of crap, just a bunch of random stuff, low level gear that's here to, give me any little bit of edge should I level through again. So that was all waiting for me, and I have even more of it now, of course, and plus I have a bunch of leveling uniques should I need to do it again. But this character fortunately made it through. I'm much more, I guess, well versed in this character, having played it over so many leagues, and I was able to pull out. And I have a bunch of interesting tech. I didn't have a lot of damage, and still don't have a ton of damage. I'm just kind of speccing into damage right now. I am going swords, and the reason I'm going swords is specifically because of Brutal Blade. This is going to be the easiest way for me to get relatively high block without really having to go hard into cluster jewels. And once I get cluster jewels, maybe I can switch into like a claw or something, because claw has much higher crit chance. And I'm currently running to kind of offset that because I currently only have a 6% crit chance sword. I am running increased critical strike support to give me the extra base, so that'll bring me up to a total of 8 base, plus it gives me a bunch of extra there. So yeah, other important things to note is I didn't like the idea of, I didn't have a lot of recovery outside of leech and instant leech, and there's a lot of instances during like, phases of bosses where you're kind of stuck, and I didn't know if there would be like degens on the ground, and there definitely were. I'm really glad I got this before Trinity in Act 8 or 9, at the end of Act 9. I got less damage over time taken from growth and decay. Other nice thing about this is the damage over time component, because I was so over leveled. I didn't beat the campaign until I was level 75, so I over leveled really hard just to be safe. I think I over leveled a little bit too hard because actually the Trinity and Kitava and all of that kind of stuff were a little bit too easy, so I think I could have gotten, you know, I could have gotten out a little bit earlier, but because you get the damage over time that scales with the gem level, I had like level 18 Frostblades of Catabasis or something. It might have only been 17, but it was 17 or 18, relatively high level. And so the damage over time multiplier helped scale that a little bit too. But I got the regen and the less damage over time taken. I also got Instinct with a little bit of energy shield to kind of help mitigate any incoming spell hits. And then I got the normal like Inveterate and that kind of thing. But other than that, it's a pretty standard Trickster tree. I'm currently using Blood Rage. Another thing the less damage taken from damage over time helps with is Blood Rage, which does physical damage over time. I don't have really any physical mitigation. And I'm also using Soul of Arakali. And if I'm standing still, it'll be reduced even further, up to 9% from Soul of Tukohama. So that is nice as well. I have immunity to all elemental ailments because I am running Purity of Elements. So my three setups here are Purity of Elements, Grace, and Precision, so no offensive things. I didn't start picking up damage until basically super late in the campaign when I was confident I would be fine. I'm not spell suppress capped quite yet. It's actually 84%. This says 94% because I'm at max health at the moment, but Revenge of the Hunted isn't up all the time, so it's 84%, but I do have Lucky Suppression, so really it's more like 98% or so. It's 100% if I'm at full life, or functionally 100%. It's like a very small fraction will hit me for full. I am planning on capping that as soon as I possibly can, and definitely before I get out of white maps. So looking to do that. But and another important thing is I also have Lethe Shade. So Lethe Shade is going to give me, I'm immune to all of the elemental ailments. I have chance to avoid poison bleeding, so that isn't that much of an issue. I do have decent chaos res, so poisons aren't going to be too much of a concern that way either. And also just because I'm very evasive, I'm not going to be hit by a lot of poisons. Go ahead and keep cycling through my boats here. Talking. I'm sending out for belts right now because my belt is by far my worst piece of gear, but I need the strength. So see if we get anything decent here. And you can get belts by sending to Nakanu here. You just send 100 shipment value worth of amber ore, or petrified amber bars. I'm basically just doing these really small shipments out here. My rings are good enough. So let's, speaking of, go over the gear. Helmet is very bad. I need to replace it. It's life and resists and accuracy, which are all, things I need, but I want to get an energy shield or energy shield evasion hybrid helmet now to take advantage of Escape Artist, but I haven't found a good one yet. And then my belt is my other bad piece of gear, but I need the strength for all sorts of stuff, so I can't get rid of it yet. And I don't have a better strength belt, sadly. It's got 41 strength on it. Other than that, very low life, low crafted elemental damage with attacks, and 7 lightning res, so really awful. My rings are good because I had been sending the 5 petrified amber to Ribbonfell to get rings for a long time. I have this really nice amethyst ring that I got, 97 life, good fire and cold res, dex, which helps with evasion, and accuracy, which I need, and then mana, which is, a little bit helpful, and crafted lightning damage to attacks for shocks mostly, and also to help maintain Trinity. So I have a bunch of crafted lightning damage. My max lightning damage is a decent amount higher than my minimum cold damage, so I do keep Trinity up most of the time because of that. I have a sword that I've had for quite a while. It's an item level 60 Corsair sword, and it's just, the only decent one-handed sword that I've gotten, unfortunately. I can do way better than this, but this has got, pretty okay damage, and then it's got attack speed and crit chance, and that's pretty much my only standards right now. I'll be looking to upgrade this as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, because of the low item level, the tiers are all pretty low, so I got tier 6 physical damage and flat physical damage, and then tier 4 cold damage, and tier 5 attack speed, and then a crafted crit chance. So not anything spectacular. And then I rune crafted the second tier of lightning damage onto it. Amulet's pretty good. I think I just crafted this. I think item level 47. So yeah, I got this pretty early on, and I think I just picked one up from the store or something and threw an essence on it. I'm not really sure exactly how I got this, but yeah, I was just getting agate amulets because I needed strength and int, mostly strength, and throwing whatever essences or elks or whatever onto them. And I do have depth perception. So if you want to get some oils, you're probably not going to get anything decent for your build unless you go really hard. But one tip you can do is during the campaign, in Act 3, the sewers will always have a guaranteed blight nearby. So if I were to go here and go to the sewers, even though I'm way over leveled now, I guess I'll just kind of show this off. There's always going to be a blight if you go up and over. It's sometimes within vision range, but yeah, here's Cassie right here. So there's always going to be a blight encounter, and it's only going to give, because of how low level it is, it's only going to give the first 3 it's only going to give the first 3 tiers of oils, which are mostly retaliation stuff. You're not going to get anything great. You can start to get tincture stuff, which can be pretty good, because obviously tinctures are very powerful. And I think because this is the only thing, it's going to guaranteed to be an oil chest, but I'm only going to get sepia, clear, or amber oils from it. So a little bit unfortunate there. Just wait for this to finish off and I can show you that. Because I think you always get one blight chest no matter what from blights, but this is always here, so you can just reset the zone. I think I did that about 20 times and then traded up. So yeah, right here I got a sepia and amber oil, and yeah, you can just kind of do that. And then I got some more oils via Tujin, I think, or maybe Ritual. I don't really remember, but either Tujin or Ritual. And that allowed me to kind of get depth perception because I needed more crit chance and I needed more accuracy. So I'm kind of running a low level precision right now. So that's that. Other ring is 90 life, some regen, flat lightning again. I try to get that on as much stuff as I can. Int and cold res, it's not bad, it's not great. I probably could, and a little bit of evasion, not much. I can probably get an upgrade for this, but I'm not going to specifically seek one out just yet because I have much weaker pieces of gear to upgrade. My shield's quite good. High block chance, some spell block, attack speed, pretty good life, very small amount of all res, okay evasion base, not great, but okay. And yeah, I got this from a shipment. It's item level 61, but I haven't found anything better. Honestly, still pretty good. I hope to find a better one at some point, but this one's really solid for an item level 61 shield. And the things that I value are going to be things like life, chance to block. Spell block is going to be a little bit less necessary on this particular build, but it is always a nice thing to have. I'd rather have spell block than not have spell block. Obviously, it's a prefix, so it doesn't compete with the stat that this is missing, which is spell suppression, if that stun and block recovery. Actually, even the stun and block recovery is kind of nice because I don't really have stun immunity at the moment. So stun and block recovery are actually pretty helpful as well. So overall, pretty solid. Boots, got some life, rarity, which isn't bad. Helps with like gold gain and everything, and it'll help me get some uniques, you know, if I want to get some uniques for this build. Crafted movement speed, chaos res, really bad eldritch, because I've just been taking, since this is the piece that I'm going to replace last, although I guess maybe my gloves are now. I had different gloves until recently, but this was the piece that I was going to replace last, so I was just putting any embers or ichors that I got onto it. So I just have been throwing them at it and haven't gotten anything worth, you know, keeping yet. But then the belt, which is very bad, and finally, or second to finally, the gloves. Gloves, life, couple resists, crafted lightning damage, cold damage. I had 12 attack speed gloves, but the life roll was very low. It was like 50 life, so I kind of wanted to just have more life. So I forewent some of the attack speed. Body armor, high life, and it's a 5-link. This is not the first 5-link I found. It was like the 6th 5-link I found or something. I've found a decent amount of 5-links through either shipments or just through finding them on the ground, corrupted, whatever, that kind of thing. But currently I haven't found any 6-links yet, and this was, you know, kind of just what I have to go with for the moment, until I find a better 5 or 6 link. And then I have to manually press my flasks, except for this one, which uses automatically when I use a guard skill. Kind of saving up until I have a little bit higher item level flasks or until I have an excess of instilling orbs to craft the other ones. I have superior sulfur flask that I haven't even crafted anything on it, which I'll do right now. Let's see if I can get anything decent. Increased durations, not bad, but I already have corrupted blood immunity. I'll just take anything that I can use. The problem is, okay, good enough. Armor. This one has evasion. This one has stun and block recovery. Okay, so rather than armor, I'd prefer like reduced curse effect or something, but this is good enough. And actually, sulfur flask creates consecrated ground, which gives you 50% reduced. Curses have 50% reduced effect while you're on the ground anyway, so it kind of does both. My armor is so low that this isn't going to make much of a difference. 700 and something up to 1,173. Not really much to speak about there, but got my tincture, which is a prismatic with attack speed. I was for the longest time using, instead of that, this one here, which is a rose thorn with attack speed. Penetration, I already have I have the inverted mastery here, elemental mastery, along with penetration from force of nature, and then I get penetration from Trinity. So I decided attack speed is going to be more useful, higher DPS for me. So that's how I'm rolling my tinctures at the moment. I noticed a huge increase in single target when switching from, once I got more crit chance when switching from the rose thorn to the prismatic, which means I was lacking percent damage big time. But now I'm starting to get some of that going up to Brutal Blade. So that will help a bit as well. And yeah, just a granite flask, which will give me armor whenever I press my guard skill for the duration, which is, 6 seconds. And it's only 24 charges to use, so I can use it pretty frequently. That helps. In white maps, that's going to be good enough to keep me safe. And I have a decently large, over 4,200 effective health pool, so I'm probably not going to get one shot by physical hits, and I'm not getting hit that often by them anyway. The other thing I have to help with that is Wind Dancer, so I'll take 20% less damage, and I'm also running Fortify, which will give me another 20% less damage taken. So I'm actually only taking, what would it be, 64% of physical attack damage when one gets through anyway. And in white maps, 64% mitigated by, the 2000. And now that I have this one, it'll probably be, it's just short of 2,300, and it might be close to 3,000. That'll be more than enough. I'll be absolutely safe with that. I won't be getting one shot by Fizz. Higher red, when I get into red maps, that'll be an issue I'll have to deal with later, and I'm going to do that by getting a much larger EHP pool and by getting the Eldritch Implicence on my body armor, like the Fizz taken as elemental one, and then I'm probably also going to get like plus resist, and I'm just going to hold on to Fortify. It's not very good damage, however, that means I have an open Eldritch Implicit on my body armor that I don't have to craft Fortify and hit. So I'm going to sacrifice the damage just so I can, and it's also Fortify on every attack and not a chance. So there isn't a small chance of it not being up and me just randomly dying because I don't have my Fortify up. So that's really nice as well. Skill gems, Purity of Elements, Blood Rage, Frost Blades of Catabasis. I don't even have all of my links set up yet. I need to figure out. I'll probably do like an automated Warcry setup when I have more stuff to craft my links up. And when I kind of finalize my gear a little bit better, I'll probably do a automated Warcry for Enduring Cry to get endurance charges, which also it would have been helpful to get Swift Killer for that because then they'd last 30 seconds. And then I could kind of ensure that they'd be up all the time, as I don't currently have. My other way of getting endurance charges would to just be to try to get the +1 minimum endurance charges on all of my jewelry. Once I have, a little bit more, like my weapons sorted and just have a 6 link and have a lot more damage in general. That's another option I could do for that. So that's something to consider. And then I have Whirling Blades, Faster Attacks, Momentum, as usual. Grace, Precision, Herald of Ice, which I'm not currently using, and I don't know if I'm going to, but I'm going to level it up anyway. If I decide to, get like ailment avoidance on shield and or boots, and then can go down and get Crystal Skin, then I can drop Purity of Elements as long as I have my resistances sorted later on. And that will free me up a bunch of mana, and then I can run Herald of Ice, which will help with clear and give me a bit more damage. I'm running Steel Skin, of course, currently locked at level 16 because I lack strength. Frostblink, Assassin's Mark, currently 10% quality to help with give me some power charges. Life Tap and Mark on Hit. And then my main setup is Frost Blades, Multi-Strike, Fortify, Trinity, and Increased Critical Strikes. So still a little bit scuffed on that, but I'm going to work everything out, when I can. So that is kind of the character. I think I went over, I'm currently running Soul of Arakali and Soul of Tukuhama. My effective health pool is high enough now that I don't need to run Soul of the Brine King, and I do have some stun and block recovery. I thought about getting Perfectionist, but that's a lot of points, and I really would like to start ramping up my damage now. I'll leave a POB in the description. And I'm not really going to do a map showcase this time because I have two problems with doing maps in this kind of event. To showcase on video. One, my game lags a little bit when I'm recording, and two, my concentration while I'm trying to talk and play at the same time is not very good. I'm very much ADD kid, so just hard to focus on that kind of thing. So, what are my plans going forward? Yeah, just craft a better armor. I guess I kind of went over all of that a little bit. I didn't have anything planned out for this video, so that's gonna be it. I hope you enjoyed this little run through. I'm gonna keep pushing. Hope there's a little bit of excitement in me personally for my return to the Frostblades Trickster build that I've really enjoyed. I'm theory crafting a couple of ideas to push it to new heights. However, it's very gear dependent, so the chances of me getting it in solo self-found are unlikely. But I theory crafted some ideas to really potentially push it way up there. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, see you next time. Bye.